Hi there, Nick here from the Digital Arts Experience. Once again, I am going to bring you another video that's going to go over one more particular detail, at least for now, of D&D and how some of the basic mechanics work. So previously we went over some basic stat checks or just checks. We went over skill checks and saving throws. But there is one thing that relates to all of it, and that is something called the proficiency bonus. So proficiency basically means that you're really good at something. You are proficient with it. In the case of D&D, a proficiency bonus is something that you get to add to particular roles. So you may have noticed when we were going through our skills and saving throws that some of these have a little black dot next to them. On your character sheet, that means that you are proficient in that skill. Depending on the class or the job you take, whether that's like sorcerer or cleric or whatever have you, barbarian, fighter, you will get different proficiencies depending on your class or your job. Again, that's all detailed in the book. In this case, I have proficiencies in insight, intimidation, medicine, wisdom, and charisma. So that means in addition to using my basic stats, I get to add a proficiency bonus. So in this case, let's say that Grum is, let's go back to that merchant actually that we did in the previous example. The merchant is, let's say, selling us a holy rosary that was handed down from, you know, an ancient god, and it's very powerful and can glow in the dark and has all these bonuses and whatnot. Now, Grum, being the adventurer that he is, and you know, he's not particularly smart, but he is pretty wise, and he's a cleric, so he suspects something is afoot. When you make an insight check, you are basically attempting to see if someone is telling the truth or they're on the level. So, because I have a wisdom of +2 and I have a proficiency of +3, I get a +5 to my roll. So I'm going to go ahead and roll an insight. I can't see the number. What did I get? I think it's low. Yeah, it wasn't too good. I rolled a 3, and then I added my 5. So that's an 8. So, again, at the Dungeon Master's discretion, he will know what the target number is to compare to. He will decide if an 8 either is below the check, meets the check, or exceeds the check, and will let you know what happens. And you can see that this is added, again, to my other stats. So for Intimidation, I have a 1 plus 3 gives me 4. So on and so forth. This also applies to my saving throws. In this case, Grum is proficient in wisdom and charisma saving throws. So I get a +5 for wisdom, which is pretty good, and a +4, which is pretty good. And this is where some of the dynamic parts of D&D come together, because depending on the job or the class that you take, you'll be better at some things, worse than others, and this really helps to have everyone work together for their mutual benefit. On top of that, what's really cool about this is as you level up, your proficiency bonus is going to go up, your basic stats are going to go up, so overall, it will make you more likely to succeed at certain things, and that is the basic core mechanic for how D&D works. And this also applies to attack rolls as well. We'll do a brief demonstration and then we'll end that here. So let's clear this out. Grum has a mace, and we're not going to go through all the details for it, but generally when you're attacking with a melee weapon, you will add your strength to it. And if you happen to be skilled with that weapon, you add your proficiency bonus with it. So if my case here, my attack bonus is a +5. So I can then roll my d20, add the 5. Again, I can't see, but we'll get that in a second. All right, 16 plus 5 is 21. That's really, really good. And in this case, the number is compared to the target's armor class, which is what is going to determine if you hit it. So if the target has an armor class of, say, 18, I went over that, so I definitely hit it. If I rolled below that, it would have gone below. And basically, everything in D&D is going to have a specific number that relates to a roll, or it's going to generate a target number the DM uses. The DM may come up with a number, but everything is between this balance of rolling a number, comparing that to the target, and then depending on what you're doing, you may get to add things or subtract things to it. So in this case, I definitely hit, so this is where damage comes into play, and this is where you often see the other dice come in. They are usually used for damage. Occasionally they'll be used to like generate random effects, but your primary die is going to be the d20 to determine what happens in the game. But just for fun, let's see how I do on the damage. All right, I rolled a 1, but bonus, I still get to add my strength to the damage, so that is a 3 overall. And you know what? I'll take it. That is how everything works for the basic mechanics of D&D. You're going to go through and continue to explore your characters, see how the roles all interrelate to each other, how your stats work. If you're playing a character with magic, it works a little bit differently, but don't worry, bit by bit, you will go through and learn more and get better at the game. If you have any specific questions about how the game works and are looking to clear up a couple of questions or confusion, you can let us know in the Discord channel. You can also email me at nick, at thedaethedae.com. I'm pretty sure my email is listed somewhere. And if we get enough questions about it, I can always create another video. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you at the table soon. Hope you roll well, adventurer. Cheers!